Good morning. My name is Jennifer Russell, and I'm here to present Neighbors Saving Neighbors. This grant proposal is being prepared for the partnership grant from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Office of Minority Health. Neighbors Saving Neighbors is an outreach program for providing emergency medical and preparedness training to ethnic and racial minority students, as well as residents in socioeconomically disadvantaged neighborhoods. The grant request is for $140,000 for the first year to initiate the program, followed by $62,000 in the second year to sustain the program, with the directive of providing ongoing funding from within the office. The grant will provide for an office as well as a full-time coordinator and trainer, 2 part-time trainers, specialty equipment as needed for CPR training, social media resources and print media resources to uniquely reach the neighborhoods, community connection resources to allow us to present our CPR training at community festivals and off-site locations. And finally, support for mentoring those who wish to become trainers. I think that Neighbors Saving Neighbors is uniquely qualified for a partnership grant because it meets 2 of the 3 DSHS aims. The first, to improve access to utilization of care by racial and ethnic minority or disadvantaged populations. And second, because it will assist in increasing the diversity of health workforce through programs at local schools and within communities. Neighbors Saving Neighbors focuses on 3 simple facts. First, that residents of minority neighborhoods are 2 to 3 times more likely to have sudden cardiac arrest outside of a hospital. Second, that immediate bystander CPR can double or even triple a person's chances of survival from cardiac arrest. And finally, less than 15% of minorities who experience sudden cardiac arrest in public receive bystander CPR. Barriers reported in a recent study indicate that CPR was withheld due to fear of legal ramifications, concern that not having a valid CPR card would be a problem, fear that the patient might become harmed if CPR was performed, questions about the complication and lack of confidence in performing the steps of CPR, fear of mouth-to-mouth resuscitation in giving rescue breaths, and finally, an overall belief that it wouldn't make a difference. Additional barriers have been postulated within the scientific community that CPR isn't performed in such communities because it's not witnessed, a belief that what happens is none of my business, fear of personal safety, especially in circumstances where violence is common, an errant belief that the education system in socioeconomically challenged neighborhoods is substandard, concern that becoming CPR trained is too expensive, and then finally, a distrust of law enforcement. And here the thinking is for racial minorities and illegal immigrants who are afraid of deportation or prosecution. The curriculum utilized by Neighbors Saving Neighbors is the American Heart Association hands-only CPR. The directive is to call first and then push hard and fast. There'll be no need for rescue breathing or practice of those sort of things. Neighbors Saving Neighbors will be targeted at high-risk neighborhoods, such as those with low socioeconomic status, racial and ethnic minority neighborhoods, neighborhoods that lack community health services, including doctors' offices, clinics, and pharmacies, And finally, neighborhoods with an established low level of bystander support. Training sites unique to Neighbor Saving Neighbors include schools, local industry, neighborhood businesses, community gathering locations, and public green spaces. The goal of Neighbor Saving Neighbors will be mobility. It's been proven that neighborhood outreach works. In 2013 through 2015, Hartford, Connecticut sent vans of trainers to urban neighborhoods. They spread the word about the training by walking among the neighborhoods. They provided a 30-minute class featuring bystander hands-only CPR and reached community groups and churches. Nearly 6,000 people were trained over the course of 2 years. Similarly, we know that training trainers works. In Denver in 2013, an organization targeted 5 high-risk neighborhoods and trained 340 people. Those 340 people were then empowered to train additional people, and another 890 people were trained. 2014 in Chicago, Illinois, Columbus, Ohio, and Tampa, Florida, 800 people were similarly trained, and again, those people trained 200 plus friends and families. Outcome measures for Neighbor Saving Neighbors include training community members in bystander CPR. While this sounds simplistic, I plan to hit the ground running and just start running classes. Also, to identify community gathering locations and events within high-risk neighborhoods, to provide neighborhood-specific advertising and customized training, to create strategic partnerships with local businesses, public safety professionals, and community leaders. And finally, to enlist local schools to require bystander CPR as an integral part of health management training. By the second year, Neighbor Saving Neighbors will engage in outreach programs and mentoring and add on the outcome measure of exposing minority and disadvantaged community members to alternative careers by providing instructor training and engaging in ongoing dialogue about health career and health safety management. Ultimately, our mission is to relentlessly identify and overcome barriers to bystander CPR, emergency preparedness, and beyond. And our vision is of a world where people are engaged and empowered to invest in the health and well-being of others, despite differences in region, race, ethnicity, and personal beliefs. Thank you for your attention, and I look forward to hearing any questions from your grant committee.